All right. All right. Live from Occupy City Hall. I want to thank everybody that's going to be tuning in, that will tune in. Let me know how this audio sounding. I'm trying to get the audio a little bit better. I think we've been a little bit too loud sometimes. I've been listening to some of the videos back. So I'm trying to make sure that we got the audio right. I'm going to move around, walk around a little bit, address a few things. It's been a crazy couple of weeks as we getting ready to come up on the first city market of the season. I don't think it's coincidental that it's been a crazy couple of I don't think it's coincidental that it's been a crazy couple of weeks as we lead up to that. City market last year was one of the most had a lot of storylines, very a lot of dramatics and theatrics and things that went along with it. So I'm not surprised that as we get closer to this year's city market, that some of these same things are taking place. I'm going to do my best to address all the things that have been, all the things that have been happening in the city, all the things that have been happening either online or through news stories and things like that. One thing you will always get from me and from the May 30th Alliance is transparency. That is why I'm doing this video on the May 30th Alliance Facebook page, because in the full effort of transparency, I have blocked a few people from my personal Facebook page. I'm not an elected official or a politician. If anybody is bringing negative energy or anybody is doing things that I feel as if are not conducive to my mental health or my emotional health, or anything that's not good for my energy, I'm gonna keep it off my timeline. I think everybody has their right to their freedom of speech and their opinion, and I have no issue. I'm not trying to report nobody else's page. I'm just gonna be like, I just don't want to see the energy, and I don't want nobody tagging me or trying to bring that energy into my life. So I have blocked people from my personal Facebook page. I will not. That's not something that I would do on the May 30th Alliance page. So that's why I'm having this live be on the May 30th Alliance page. So that way it can't be said that I tried to speak about these things and keep it hidden, or I blocked people and then I spoke. So some of these, I want to start by saying this too. Some of these things that I'm about to address are things that I'm going to make sure to not say people's names, keep people's names omitted, things that I'm addressing specifically because of the fact that we are out here asking transparency and asking other people to address certain things. So anytime that somebody brings things up about the May 30th Alliance or about me personally to the public sphere, I will address those things. I'm not going to always address it in the median that somebody else may like. I'm not going to do Facebook comments or anything like that with people. But I do believe that we can't be asking for one thing from an institution and not be willing as an organization to contribute that same thing. So let me start off with one of the things that has been being talked about is this idea of a leader, or the May 30th Alliance having a leader, or me being the leader. I want to emphasize, like I have done for the past 12 months repeatedly, that there is no leader of the May 30th Alliance. There is no, you can't find no paperwork or no emails or no videotape meetings or no audio or anything like that where you can where you hear someone stating I'm the leader, someone stating that they are following me, someone stating that I am in charge. Even though I may be the person who is the face, very similar to a football team, the person that may be the face of the team may not be doesn't mean that they're the leader of the team, or the person that's, in charge of the team, or somebody that's the spokesperson for something is not necessarily the person that, let me grab this, things to be done that way. There are the people who are around here on a regular basis, people that have contributed for the occupation and for the May 30th Alliance on a regular basis are very intelligent, intellectual people who are very capable of making up their own minds and their own decisions. And that is why we have been a productive organization. That is why we have functioned at the capacity that we have functioned at. It's because everybody who is here can think for themselves, wants to. There we go. All right, so that is why I believe we have been productive, is because of the fact that there are multiple people here who have the type of mindset to lead and don't need a leader. So that's that. I want to bring up that they were in there has been a response to some of the charges that have been either placed against people, some of the charges that people have taken pleas for. There has been this. Okay, the internet is nuts. Okay, there has been this, I guess, a feeling from some people that I personally have not done enough for people who have been who have been arrested and charged with crimes last year, stemming from some of the events that took place at City Market. I guess there has also been a feeling, there has also been a feeling from some people that the May 30th Alliance has not done enough when it comes to people who were arrested and charged with crimes from last year. And I want to make sure that we need to make sure that we're having the same conversation and we're in the same understanding level. The May 30th Alliance is not a non-for-profit organization. The May 30th Alliance does not have an abundance of funds to their name or to its name. The May 30th Alliance is not profiting off of these events that are going on. We do fundraising. We have sold shirts and sold hoodies, but none of those things we have no type of profit margin or anything like that. And I state that to say that we can't pay for lawyers for people. We never, as an organization, we never stated that we could pay for lawyers for people. We never outlined that we would pay for lawyers for people. I personally have a public defender, and we never last year when we went into demonstrations last year, into protests last year, we never went into those things saying to people to do A, B, C, and D, and we will make sure to do E, F, G, H, and I for you. Everything that we went into last year, we went into with just as naive. I don't want to, the word naive is not proper. I believe that I went into it, and people that was around me went into it with an understanding of what these issues were. We came out because of what happened on May 30th, and on May 30th, people were assaulted and falsely arrested, and people who were assaulted and falsely arrested, some of those people, none of those people didn't have legal representation. Those people didn't have lawyers to represent them. They didn't go under the guise that the people who were setting up the demonstration or the protest or the march or whatever were going to pay for lawyers or pay for any type of things that may be needed outside of the protest or the march. That's one of the reasons that when we did make the demands that we pointed out, one of the things people have talked about is that people are traumatized from these arrests and they need mental health assistance, or they need help with their mental capacity. And I don't, I'm not disagreeing with that or arguing against that. I think that the people who traumatize these people should be the ones that are taking accountability and responsibility for that. The same way I think that the people who falsely arrested people should be the ones that should be taking accountability for those false arrests. There's also been this, I'm gonna move around a little bit. There's also been statements that I've heard be passed around of me inciting people to get arrested, or the May 30th Alliance inciting people to get arrested. I've said this once, said it twice, I'll say it 100 times if that's what's needed. Again, I have no issue with repeating things. The City Market protest was not designed for people to be arrested. The City Market protest was not designed as a civil disobedience that was going to lead to people going to jail. When we did the march on the crosswalk multiple times, 4 or 5 times, and no one was arrested. We moved to the parks, no one was arrested. We moved back to the crosswalk, no one was arrested. Everything that we did every week in City Market was consistent, even down to the last week when we walked on the crosswalk again, and people were not arrested for walking on that crosswalk. The reason that, the week that they went and arrested people, and then the subsequent weeks in which the sheriff's department or sheriff's deputies and the Rockford Police Department went and arrested people, they did those things to try to get this exact type of thing to happen that is happening in this moment, for divide and conquer tactics, for intimidation tactics, for decentivizing people from participating in demonstrations. And so I was never under any type of false or any type of preconceived notion that it wouldn't be some people that these things would work on to some extent. And of course, and they've manifested immediately, where some people didn't come weeks later, and now as we come a year full circle, they've manifested they've manifested fuller in people being divided over the manner of which these cases are being treated, or in the manner in which people remember how some of these events took place. And so I'm with the understanding that is the purpose of these arrests. That was the purpose of the arrest last year. That was the purpose of the assaults last year. I think that us collectively, the people who are on the same page, that are working for the same objectives, which doesn't, and are ideologically aligned, which doesn't have to be everybody. I think one of the main things that I've gotten out of this is that people who have ideological differences, they don't have to work together. I don't want anybody working with the May 30th Alliance that has issues with the members of the May 30th Alliance, or that has issues with the May 30th Alliance. I hope that you do succeed in all the things that you do, and I hope that you do well, but keep that energy in those places. I'm not here for we're not trying to have no type of competitions over activist competitions or organization competitions, or being the most radical or being the most revolutionary. We have a specific goal, specific purposes, and from the benchmarks that we are checking, we're hitting those goals, we're hitting those objectives, and our objectives don't have to be anybody else's objectives. That's the beauty of what's supposed to be a free country. That's the beauty of what's supposed to be democracy, is that we can have our beliefs, other people can have their beliefs, and we can both go separate ways and go on our journey separate ways. And I hope that is one of the main things that comes out of this, is people understanding that that ideological differences exist, and it's okay to have ideological differences. I believe that a lot of these things have got into this type of a fever pitch of an issue, where people are having these social media and comment battles because of the fact that people had ideological differences, and instead of separating from those ideological differences fully, people tried to put some of those ideological differences to the side and trying to work together, or a goal of working together, and that can be good sometimes, but it can also end up being toxic or end up being unhealthy. And I think that is some of the things that we have ended up getting to now. So again, just to try to clarify, to reiterate some of these things, I think that the police department and the city officials and the city market board that's part of putting all these things together, the institutions that left people traumatized and that weaponize these police, are the ones that are responsible for trying to make these people whole, are the ones to be blamed for any felonious charges that people have, or any BS court supervisions or probation or paroles, or any of the things that people have. All of those things are to be blamed on the institutions which did these things. Again, I can see if the May 30th Alliance, if we went out the first city market, at the first city market that ever took place, we walked on the crosswalk and people got arrested, and we have never led anybody into anything. Everybody has always had 100% their free will. This policing actions has been something that has been yelled at the top of people's lungs multiple times during different events. People have been allowed to make the actions that they chose to make. If people follow me, if I was the leader that some people are stating, then everybody who got arrested would have got arrested walking on a crosswalk, just the same way that I did. There would be no resisting arrest charges. There'd be no evading arrest charges or any of those things. Everybody would have got arrested walking on a crosswalk, hands behind their back, and went into the paddy wagon or whatever. I don't think everybody needs to get arrested. You get arrested how you want to get you choose to get arrested. Nobody tells somebody has to have how to have an emotional reaction to being falsely arrested for something, to having your rights impeded on. So I don't expect, or I would never try to tell people, well, I got arrested this way, you need to get arrested this way. I protest this way, you need to protest this way. I've never done that, and I never will do that. And so this idea of leading is completely false once it's put underneath the light, and once people, what's up, brother? And once these things are dissected deeper. Again, multiple times, I would be the first person that would be arrested. I would be gone. A lot of people got arrested. I wasn't even there anymore. So I can't be the one leading or inciting these things to happen if I'm not there when some of these things are taking place. And again, I think, a lot of this is from ideological differences, and it's okay to have ideological differences. I think that the most healthy thing is for people with ideological differences to separate and choose different tactics and choose different means of waging this revolution in whichever manners in which they believe are proper, but people should have the space in order to do that. One of the things that we've done multiple times as the May 30th Alliance is to make sure to not impede on someone else's space in which they are trying to protest or demonstrate or rally or hold events, and with the hopes and with the respects that people will do that same thing to us. And if people don't want to do those things, if people decide that they want to protest the protesters, or people decide that they want to do demonstrations around the demonstrators, that speaks to those people's ideology, that speaks to those people's intentions and to those people's tactics. It does not speak to ours. And it doesn't, it does not speak to the things that we stand for. We will continue to continue the occupation going forward. We will continue to have the occupation going forward. In the occupation, we will continue to bring awareness not only to the things that have taken place in the city when it is around protesting and around demonstrations, but also the macro aggressions that have taken place in the city with the shooting of with the murder of Faustin Guaitigo, the shooting of Jose Gonzalez Jr., the assault of Denzel Duvant, the shooting of Tyrus Jones, the memorials that we have down here, when we had the teach-in trying to speak about how some of these issues are interrelated to Rockford, even the things that people, may seem petty or small to people, things like the chalk, to make anybody who comes into City Hall have to take a second to read the chalk, or take a second to wonder what the chalk is there for, or to look at the message and feel some type of way about the message. And so we will continue to do those things going forward. And I hope that in the midst of us doing those things, that the same rigor that people are discounting the things that we are doing, that same rigor is put into the actions that they take, and I believe that we'll in 5 months and 10 months we'll be in a better place. I'm not dissuading anybody from doing any things in their own capacities. I'm just hoping that people have the integrity and the understanding to know that if people are truly after the same things, if people do truly have the same objectives, that trying to destroy somebody or trying to tear down something that is trying to get to the same objectives as you is going to be, is going to be pointless. And that the May 30th, there's no, and just so that we're on the same page, and it's the same thing with whether it's the mayor or white nationalists, white supremacists, racists, whoever the detractor is, the May 30th Alliance is not stopping. The May 30th Alliance is not only Leslie. It's not just Leslie. The May 30th Alliance is not just the people who are maybe here at this occupation all the time. It's not a day where the May 30th Alliance, whether it be ideologically growing or subconsciously growing or being tangible in people coming over and trying to find a way in which they can participate, it's continuing to grow. And that's not going to stop. There's no intent. We have no intentions of going backwards or relenting in any type of capacity. So a lot of these things are pointless. It's no different than the police trying to destroy the organization, or the police trying to destroy individuals within the organization. It's only going to lead towards people. It's only going to lead towards people being more resolute and being more headstrong in actions, going forward. So the last thing, it's probably still a few other things I want to touch on. This thing I want to touch on, I want to make sure to try to be as sensitive and respectful as possible about this subject for two reasons. For one, it's a subject that is a sensitive subject to begin with, and for two, I don't personally believe that it is even my it's really that I should even be involved in this. But however, because my name has been brought up and because things have been attached to my name, which is again something that I'm okay with. This is I'm not complaining about the position that I'm in or the position that the organization is in. These are all things that I 100% knew would come with these, would come with some of the spotlight that has been put on me, put on myself. Hold on, let me move this chair. Damn. Okay. So there was hopefully this connection stay good. So it's been again, I did personally block a few people, multiple people off my Facebook page. So I have not seen some comments that some people have left, but I have heard about some of the comments. One of the comments, and again, I don't know the comment verbatim, so I'm not saying that this is exactly what the comment said. But one of the comments alluded to protecting someone who was a rapist or someone who was involved in a rape or of some sort. And so I want to make sure to clarify. I think that is very dangerous for certain things to go out and for it to be no clarification on them. And again, I will always be transparent in any of the things that I'm speaking on. And so I would just speak on my position in these things. When the occupation at City Hall first began, I heard conversations of people speaking about approaching an individual and having an altercation with an individual, or speaking about talking to an individual and hoping that in the talk to the individual it did not lead to some type of physical altercation. This was not a conversation that I was involved in. It was a conversation that I heard, and overhearing the conversation. Not because I'm the leader or not because I'm a leader, but because I was a concerned party. I asked what was going on and what the situation was and how come this person was, being approached, and how come it could lead to some type of physical altercation. I just wanted to be filled in on what the situation was. I was told that groups of people got together, or people were hanging out. And again, this is not being done in any type of effort to put no type of dirty laundry or air no laundry. Is to being done to just make sure clarification is being done when people are saying certain things or certain thoughts are being put out or certain statements are being put out. I was told that people were made to feel uncomfortable in a situation in which some people were drinking and other people were not drinking. People felt that someone took advantage of a situation while some people were drinking and this person was not drinking. And I was, told of the individuals that it involved. And so, and again, I was not given no specific, the word rape was never used. There were no specifics used. No specific words was used. I was just told about an incident that took place. So then I spoke to both parties that were involved in the incident, and asked people how they felt about the incident, about what happened in the incident. I asked the party that would be the victim in the situation, or that would be the person who, the victim in the situation. I asked them about what happened, what went on. I was told the same thing, that people were drinking, another person wasn't drinking, and that people were made to feel that this person took advantage of that situation. No specific words was used, no specific actions was told to me. I did not give anybody the third degree. These were again, I don't know if this is something that maybe people don't understand, or if it's, we just got to communicate these things again. This was October. I had known all the people involved for 4 to 5 months. I was not trying to dig into nobody's personal situation, into nobody's business. I asked if this person felt comfortable with this person still being here. I asked how they wanted to go forward with this. I was told that they felt comfortable with this person still being here. I was told that they would handle it going forward, that they would speak to them. And so I left that situation how it was. And as time went on, I seen these parties have interactions with each other, seen these parties talk to each other. They seem to have some type of friendship, or, I don't want to use the word friendship, because the word friends is being used very loosely. But there's some type of association and rapport with each other. And so I figured that whatever happened in the situation, that they had handled it, that they had took care of it, and that this was something that was resolved. And so I never brought it back up or intervened or interjected myself into the situation again. As As we get to, and that was in October. When we get to, I believe March or April, it was brought to my attention again by a different party. This time that this same situation was brought up. People were told me that some of the people involved in the situation felt differently than they felt before. They felt that they wish that they would have handled things differently, and that this person would have left, and that this person wasn't around, and they just felt like the situation that they were trying to look out for the collective good, and they were trying to look out for the movement, and at the moment that they wish that they would have been looking out for themselves, and that they felt differently about the decision. And so with that being said, when that was said to me, I had conversations with people. I'm in the middle of something, bro. All right, we had conversations with people and spoke to people and moved forward. Damn, I messed with my spot. Man, hold on a minute. This is a bad time. It's a bad time, Chris. Bad time. All right, so Chris, bad time, dude. Damn, it's horrible timing. Oh my God. And so, oh man, it's a horrible timing. And so, this was brought to my attention that the parties felt differently, and the parties did not feel the same way. And so, me and the organization and the people that was here had a conversation about how to move forward with those things. One of the parties that was involved was still actively being participating in the occupation, and so in the interest of trying to make the person who been victimized feel, I guess feel is the wrong word, but to make sure that to make sure the person understood that this was something that was taken completely seriously, that everybody's emotions and feelings and everything that anybody may have experienced was being 100% validated. We asked organizationally for this person to remove themselves and to no longer be part of participating in the occupation. Because it was brought to our attention, my attention, that people felt differently about this situation. The moment that it was brought to my attention that that somebody felt that this person that they were not okay with the events. Again, it's hard for me to have a conversation and talk about these things because I do not know the things that took place. I do not know what happened. Only thing that I know is when when it was told to me that somebody was comfortable with a person's presence being here, I moved forward on that type of action, and the organization moved forward with that type of action. And when it was told that somebody felt uncomfortable with this person, even when that person was no longer around, the person who felt uncomfortable was no longer around, we removed the person who made the uncomfortability present. And again, I'm trying to explain this without getting into the mud, into the details of things, because I do believe that this is something that should be worked out without me. I do not believe that this is something that I'm involved in, but because my name was brought up and it was brought up in a certain context, I believe in transparency and accountability. I'm coming here to be transparent and also to be accountable. If again, I did not never dealt with no situation like this before. These events did not take place at a May 30th Alliance event like this. It was not like a May 30th Alliance party or anything that these things happened at, or a May 30th Alliance event these actions happened at. So I did not know about any of these events or actions. Was not particularly close with the individuals involved to the point where I was told specifics about the information. So I tried to move forward when these things were brought to me based on the emotions and the feelings of the parties involved. In the moment that the parties involved, emotions changed. I did things differently. Of course, if I could go back, I would do things. I would just have the person be removed or no longer participate because of the understanding that somebody's perspective did change or would change. I was trying to do what in the moment I felt was the best thing to do, or was the wisest thing to do, or the proper thing to do. But I do just want to make sure that there's context given to that statement that is in the comments that's floating around that. And then let me give context to, I've seen some other people making statements. Some people talking about having conversations with me, feeling as if they were gaslit in conversations with me. I think that it should be stated, and again, I don't mean to, maybe this is something that has to be communicated more often, but I'm not there's very few people who have been involved in this in which have had this word friends is being used a lot. And I don't want nobody to take this in the wrong way or be offended by this. But we are not down. The May 30th Alliance is not down here to make friends or to be friends with people. I'm not personally down here to be friends or to make friends with people. Now, that don't mean that I don't have relationships with people. That don't mean that, I don't want nobody that's out here trying to advocate for the issues that we advocating for to be worried about friendship in the midst of this. It's hard to be worried about friendship in the midst of some of the things that we dealing with. And so I think that one of the things that has happened is that some people have misinterpreted having a relationship with having a friendship, or misinterpreted camaraderie with friendship, which is unfortunate that has happened. But anybody who has ever came to have a conversation with me involved in these things, I have tried to speak to and tried to communicate with. I believe I'm an easy person to communicate with, but it is a lot of people, I'm sure, who don't believe that is a true stance or a true statement. I think that one of the things that must be said that people must understand about me, and it's the sort of the concept, the same thing that make you laugh, make you cry, and that's that there's no actions or no decisions or nothing that I say, nothing that I do, nothing that I'm involved in which I haven't thought through. I haven't played through in my head a bunch of times, or I haven't weighed out in my mind a bunch of times. And so when somebody comes and they may disagree with something, you just bringing up that you disagree with it is not going to make me just capitulate and say, oh, you know what, you disagree with this, so you right, I'm wrong. I'm going to explain to you why I did those things. I'm going to explain to you why I think this way. I'm going to explain to you why I feel this way. I don't want to be around, or I don't want to be associated or do nothing with nobody who makes decisions that they don't think through. And that when somebody brings to them their disagreement with the decisions, anybody who is out here making decisions like we are, the type of decisions with this type of gravity, should believe in the decision, should believe in the ideology. So if the first time somebody challenges it, you crack under the challenge, it makes me believe that you don't even know what you're doing. You don't even believe in these things. You ain't thought about the counter argument. So when people come and disagree with some of the things that we have done, or disagree with some of the statements, I'm going to have a counter argument. I've thought about the counter argument. Counter arguments don't, and it's the same thing. When the counter argument is, when you agree with the counter argument, when we out here, when my voice is being used to further an agenda you agree with, you okay with somebody else maybe saying, oh, what he said was gaslighting, which I ain't gaslighting nobody. That's a term that's used too loosely. But you okay with that? Or when the messages, when somebody else who has different political agreements as you, and me and you may be aligned politically, and I say something and it makes somebody feel some type of way, you okay with it then? You good with it then? You good with me being at City Market calling black people Uncle Tom, black police officers Uncle Toms, but then when I disagree with you in the inbox, now you talking about you being gaslit, and now you on Facebook or you on social media, and you and again, this is two separate people, two separate incidents. I'm not saying nobody's names because, for one, I'm not here to try to lend this platform. What up? I'm not trying to lend this platform to anything or anybody that I believe will have negative intentions for the people in the May 30th Alliance, or the people that surround the May 30th Alliance. I'm not going to help people to try to tear us down. So I won't say no names. I'm not going to go into all that. But what I will do is address these things, and I'll continue to address all of these things. And so I just want to say this is a separate incident. I'm talking about separate things now. And so people okay with with my voice being used, or with the tactics that I use to speak, or the tactics that we use in demonstrating and protesting, when it's when it's in agreement with them, when it behooves them, when it's the same type of tactics or ideological beliefs that they have. But the second that they're different, then they go into the same type of actions that people who are people who are the racists go into, that the politicians go into, that the police go into, and so we won't do that at the May 30th Alliance. That's something that I'm 100% against. I'm not finna use this platform to try to tear down nobody else's platform. I'm not finna use my platform or my standing to try to tear down somebody else's platform or somebody else's standing. Anytime something is brought to the floor, I'll address it and will address it. Anytime somebody comes to have a conversation or to have a dialogue, we'll be here to have that conversation and to have that dialogue. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to fight with people. I'm not going to fight with people when the best thing to do is just separate from people. I'm not going to have arguments with people or struggle with people when I understand the best thing to do is to separate from people. And so hopefully that. Oh damn. Wait. Oh shit. Can't hear. Wait. Okay. And so hopefully that's something that that's a thing that other people also hold on. Okay. Hopefully that's the thing that other people also are coming to that same type of conclusion. I'm trying to think if it's anything else. Oh, okay. Let me address the statement that the mayor made in the newspaper. I probably should have did this in a separate video, but I do believe that a lot of these things are the same, similar ends, where narratives and narratives are being put out, and people's perspectives are being put out. And again, there's three sides to the story: your side, my side, and what's the real side or the true side or something like that. But I do want to just make sure that our side is being put out. And so when the mayor says that we are blocking the sidewalk and hindering people, the handicap interests or people who have handicaps from entering in, that is a complete lie. Look at this. This is City Hall. This is the entrance to City Hall. This is the sidewalk to City Hall. It's multiple videos that you can see, multiple pictures that you can see. This sidewalk this is never stopping nobody from getting through and from having access through. That is a lie that this it's a lie that this fork-tongued white man is putting out there. And unfortunately, the black people who are the black people capitulating to this system are allowing this white man to tell these lies, and he's using these lies to try to change the narrative about people who are out here protesting on behalf of issues that predominantly affect black people. So the fact that black people can be taking pictures with this racist white man, with this racist fork-tongued white man, the fact that black people can be sharing this man post, liking this man post, it's really disheartening. It shows how divided this city truly is. It shows how politically ignorant, the city truly is, or maybe how politically. Maybe it's not even politically ignorance. Some of it is understanding. I do believe a lot of people understand what they do, and I do believe a lot of people, and like it has always been, it is people who will omit from the collective of black people and instead choose to opt into individual blackness, and instead choosing to opt into individualism in blackness. And that is something that is very beneficial. If you decide that, instead of moving with the collective of black people, because the collective of black people, we behind, we are not as trying to use gotta be careful with these words. I gotta use the right words. But I'm saying that to say it is some people who understand that being next to the mayor and being a black person next to the mayor and speaking on behalf of black people in Rockford will put them in a position where they can benefit, by being what up. They can benefit from being next to them. And so they okay with not being honest about the situations that black people as a whole or as a collective stand in the city. And so that is something that unfortunately has been happening all too often. And I believe that is what's made this man comfortable with now just telling flat out lies. He said, if you handicap, you can't have, no, you don't got no access to the building. That's a flat out lie. Flat out lie. Then he said, then again, he continued to try to manipulate these memorials, not call them, to not be honest about the things around the memorials. He said, we're, determined to keep putting things on. This is all on the R Star newspaper interview or whatever. But he said, we determined to keep putting things on the light poles, even though he's offered a permanent place for the memorials. We're not determined to continue to put things on the light poles. The pictures of the people who the police department have killed are on the light poles. The names of the people the police department has killed are on the light poles. And then on the bottom of the light poles are flowers, stuffed animals, and candles for the memorials for those people. And again, the reason that this fork-tongued white man keep on using these half-truths and this media manipulation is because these Uncle Tom Negroes who continue to stand next to this man, who continue to not publicly challenge this man or publicly question this man, enable him to do that. Because they trying to get some money at City Market. Because they trying to get a couple extra dollars from when the cannabis money come in or something. Or because they want an alderman seat. Or because they want to be able to be the mayor in 5 years, 10 years. Or because they want a couple extra dollars in the grant money. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting that this white man is out here perpetuating these half-truths and lies, and that grown black men, grown black women who's supposed to have standing in this to the side, quiet and silent. I'm 29. I should not be the one out here speaking about some of these issues. It should be, where's Rhonda Greer at? Where is Rhonda Greer? All right, anyways. What up? All right, so that was a half-truth. Then the other half-truth, he made this statement where, and we talked about this collectively, the May 30th Alliance. So we think one of the house Negroes, okay, there we go. All right, my fault. I'm doing too much walking. I'm finna have to end this. But we think one of these Uncle Toms, one of these house Negroes, put this little lot of idea into his mind or whatever. But he put out a statement in the newspaper talking about we no longer are worried about changing things, and we're more concerned with being disruptive and with internet celebrity. And I heard some other people done talk about this clout chasing thing too. And so let me say this to people who may not understand, and I don't really care how, again, some things I am worried about how they come across when it involves other people. I do when I'm speaking on someone else or a situation involving other people. When I'm speaking on a situation in which I think it may be somebody who just don't understand what some of their actions, I do try to be careful about my verbiage. When it's something that concerning me, more just me, I don't mind being 100 about something. So, or not being 100. I don't mind not trying to sugarcoat or tiptoe around something. Listen, man, if I was clout chasing, I'd be dropping music videos all the time. If I was clout chasing, I'd be making rap songs all the time, putting out mixtapes, putting out clothes. It'd be pictures of me, a bunch of songs about protesting. It may be people who don't know me or didn't know about me before some of these things happen. But it's other people who know. It's other people who know that if I wanted to, at any point, if I wanted to use this to try to be more popular or be more famous or for some clout, I could have been did that. I could have been pushed that button. That's not what I'm out here for. That's not what I'm doing. So anybody who making ignorant statements like that, just show how little that they truly know, how self-centered that they is to think that the only reason that people know who I am or only reason that I got any type of attention is because it started when they knew me or it started when they heard my name, because that's false, completely false. Part of the reason that some of these things have had as much attention and I've had as much attention on some of these things is because people knew who I was before this, because people knew me before this. I had a track record before this, because the things that I may be saying on a microphone or talking to people now was things that I was been giving it up like this. I was been in the projects shooting music videos for people with free. Let me just, I guess, and I hate to have to talk like this, but been in the project shooting music videos for people for free for years. Multiple people know me in the city. Done been back and forth putting out music, was in the newspaper before from the 815 hip hop power rankings that we was in the verge of creating and trying to do, was putting out mixtapes on a regular basis, paying for promotion, putting music videos out, paying for promotion. So people who got this false conception that ain't nobody know who I was before this, just please be quiet. Stop talking. Stop talking. People who got this false conception that I'm doing all this to be famous for some type of celebrity or for some type of profit, be quiet. Stop talking. You don't know what you're talking about. And it's okay to not know what you're talking about sometimes. But I promise you, if right now, tomorrow, I decided I wanted to do some clout chasing, or I wanted to be more popular, or this was all for some fame, or this was all for some type of personal benefit, it'd be a bunch of people down here with cameras shooting music videos. I'll be starting to be in the studio every day, making songs about city market and about time and about police and protesting. So stop. And the other thing that is doing is that's trying to make people trying to pigeonhole this thing to make it so that if at any point me or any of the people that's involved in this decide to do something else with our lives, decide to do something else, and in the midst of doing that, we are offered opportunities because of the stances we have taken, because of the sacrifices that we have made. They are trying to nullify those things. They are trying to make it as if people did all of these things just for that profit and reason. Ain't nobody staying out here to be famous. Nobody sleeping outside of City Hall to be famous. Nobody out here engaging in these conversations and dealing with these things to be famous. That's not what's going on. I'm not talking to people's families, which I don't do enough of, which I apologize for. I don't do enough. Now, that's something that 100% I'll be accountable. I try my best to stay in contact with people's families, but this shit is traumatizing. This shit is so heavy. Sometimes I can't even, it'd be hard to interact with people's families, with the trauma that all of this shit hold, you know what I'm saying? So that's something that I don't do at the basis, at the regularity that I wish I could, and I wish we could do more for these people's families, but I'm not dealing with these type of things for fame or for popularity or for clout. What's wrong with you people? What's crazy is I think that make me wonder about people. That make me wonder about the mayor. What type of sick white man is you where you think people will be out here advocating on behalf of dead? These are people who have been killed. Faustin Guaitigo was murdered. And you think people marching to be famous after this man got murdered? And again, that's what happens when these black people care more about profit than they care about their own people. And for a year, they just, as this man is weaponizing police, as this man is doing racist action after action, as this man is continuing to not speak, as after body pile up of state-sanctioned violence, this is what happened. Now he feeling all big, bad, and tough. He feeling real big and tough and lying on news stories. All right, and so we on day 225, Occupy City Hall. These is all things that we knew was gonna come with this. I just want people to, I just want to make sure, man, it wasn't gonna be no honeymoon been over with. We knew it was gonna come with this. It's been like this since after the die-ins last year. It's always been some type of false narrative, some type of drama or things that are not conducive to what the theme and the overall point is. And again, all of these things, this whole live was done in an effort to address issues that people brought up. We have continued and we will continue to address the issues that people bring up. When people come to have conversations, I've had conversations with people. We've had conversations with people. I'm a grown ass man. I'm not fighting on Facebook with people. I don't do the fighting with the Facebook with the racists. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing the comment wars with people. And I'm not doing no type of trying to destroy other activists or protesters or whatever it may be. But when things are said or things are brought to the table that need clarification, or when a false narrative begins to be put out, we will combat it intellectually. We will combat it through dialogue, through conversations, the same thing that we asking of other people. We're not finna do it through no violence with people or fighting with people. We're not finna do it through no messiness on Facebook comments. And that's gonna be where we stand at. And too, just to clarify this too, I heard this was put in the comments. I did not know I had a warrant when we went to go get our stuff back. If I knew I had a warrant when we went to go get our stuff back, we wouldn't have went to go get our stuff back. I just would have turned myself into the jail. We would have went to the jail with the money. Nobody went there with the understanding of a warrant, and we didn't go to beg for our stuff back. We went to ask for things that were stolen from us back. I don't know what type of reality we going into in which trying to get something that was stolen from you back is a negative. Again, I ain't put share this video on here, but share this video. I'm sure people will be in the comments. I won't be in the comments. Again, I have blocked people from my personal page. I need my personal peace, my personal energy as we get ready for City Market. People are not blocked or banned or anything from this page, so they can like the comments up or share it and say whatever they need to say on the top of the shares. I'm for free speech. Last thing, I do want to clarify this. At City Market, any people with cameras are the May 30th Alliance has no issues with nobody having no cameras, with nobody doing no filming. If that means that other people who have issues with people having cameras and with people filming do not come, are not going to be there, that is okay with us, with the May 30th Alliance. That is okay with me. It is. I wanted to make sure that we are on 100% on the same page. We will not be decentivizing anybody that's filming. We will not be attacking anybody that's filming. We will not be trying to break nobody's cameras that's filming. We encourage people to come and to be witnesses, just like we encourage people to come and to be demonstrators, but come and be demonstrators with the understanding of what we demonstrating for. Again, people can come out here and talk to us and have a dialogue and have a conversation, so that way you're not putting yourself in a situation that you don't fully understand, so then you and then ended up being remorseful later in the future. That's not what we want. That's not what we want at all. So we gonna continue to keep the dialogue going on here. Again, we've been making sure to keep content on the Facebook page, on the Twitter page, Instagram page, YouTube page. Been uploading more videos. Got to get those videos titled. But we're not going nowhere. That's and that for anybody who need to hear, whether it's City Hall, the police, state's attorney, the neighbor up the street, we're not going nowhere. Not going nowhere. We outside. May 21st, First City Market. Bring cameras.